Like, bruh, if this is just a Gotham City simulator, just tell us, Disney. It turns out to be the villain Bon Voyage. Robbie stopped Bon Voyage before Mr. Incredible could to show his worth. While trying to get the cops, Le Bon Voyage put a sticky bomb on dude. Mr. Incredible sees it and tries to save the kid. He starts hanging on by his boots and finally rips the bomb off. But of course it lands in the middle of the train track and blows up. And of course there's a train oncoming literally seconds later. So Mr. Incredible pulls the Spider-Man, stopping the train. He hands Incredidweeb over to the cops and heads off to his wedding? He marries Elastigirl and they do the whole smoochy smooch. But soon after, he gets sued by that suicidal Goofy and all the passengers who was on that train that day. The non-soups, they started suing the heroes left and right, leading to the Suit Lannister. Their kid Dash is in the principal's office for using his powers to prank his teacher, but his teacher really doesn't know what's going on, so he just makes a fool of himself during the accusation. All I'm waiting for is one of those fairly godparents. Meanwhile, Violet, the child over here geeking over school, Mr. Popular, and how the heck is she just a cop in Biz in broad daylight and no one notices? But she gets picked up from school and Bob is going through it. He gets home and rages at his car because he is really fed up with this regular life. They all talk as a family about their days at the dinner table. Miss Incredible asks Violet why she ain't eating, so Dash teases her about having a crush, causing an all-out circus act to erupt in the dining room. While the parents wrestle around with the kids, the doorbell rings, and here's my favorite black superhero, Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh yeah.
I mean Frozone. So Bob and Lucius, aka Frozone, aka Samuel L. Jackson, head off to go bowling, but really go to secretly stop some crime. They intercept the fire call, saving a bunch of civilians from the burning building, busting through a wall in the process, falling right into the lobby of a bank. Like, what kind of timing is that? Of course, the superheroes land in a bank dressed as robbers. The irony. So the cops pull up and try to arrest them because they are the only ones in here shiestied up. Frozone freezes the cop and they escape down the back of an alley. While a suspicious lady stalks them, Bob gets home and Helen confronts Dude about his curfew and finds out he's been out here fighting crime again. So they get into an argument and the next day, Bob chokes out his uptight boss with little man syndrome and throws him through like, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 walls. Bob's done goofed and goes home to reminisce about the glory days. He sees a message from that suspicious lady who was stalking them. She tells him that he was invited to a facility to remotely test a robot they've created that's gone rogue and they need him to stop it. So she gives him 24 hours to respond and the iPad Bob is sending him on some conference, but really, he's accepting the gig to stop that robot and make a little extra moolah. Because you know, he got fired when he threw his boss through those what? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 walls. Later the next day, Miss Mirage briefs Buddy on the mission and drops all the details on that jawbreaker with legs. So the bot has advanced AI technology, meaning it continuously learns. This caused the bot to go rampant. Now they need him to go in and do his hero stuff really fast, but without destroying the bot too bad in the process. So they shoot him down to the island. He runs off and locates the big guy, and they are really tussling. The bot ain't going though. Mr. Incredible knocked him once, and he got back up on timing, socking him into a tree. Then bro turned into a homing Indiana Jones boulder, and they fall into the pit of a volcano or something. Mr. Incredible ends up throwing the bot into some lava, and it looks like things are up. Well, of course not, or we don't have a movie, right? The bot survives the lava and grabs Bob, but in the process of trying to rip bro in half, he actually busts Mr. Incredible and fixes his back, and Bob grabs the bot by the head and makes it destroy itself. Meanwhile, back at the lab, we get our first sight at some true schemery, because I sent so much hate in that. Surprising. We must bring him back. So they invite bro to dinner, and he spots Mirage talking to the head guy after walking through a literal corridor of lava. Like, how the freak is she not seared to a crispy well done? So they get to grubbing for a bit and talk about her boss, who wants to remain anonymous through this whole ordeal. They give each other some googly eyes while drinking wine. Bob goes back home, and he's feeling motivated, spending time with the kids, clapping his wife, being a real dad, you know. He even started back working out and slimmed up some. Mans is really built like a 20-time world's strongest man champion. He sees that his super suit has ripped, so after saying goodbye for work, He goes to this freaking Munchkin Edna's house. She is basically like the Tony Stark of the hero's super suit world. So she talks him into asking for a new suit. And back at the crib, Helen spots that white hair on Bob's suit. So when he picked up the phone, she was snooping around and heard the
I would have said
conversation
Alfred,
and went
to
to
be
press
honest.
Bob about who that thought was on the phone. So who that hoe is? He lies about it just being another work conference and sneaks off to the lab island. And you can tell he's getting back into his groove. He's got his own personal ship and everything. Man's getting treated like LeBron. And he got the new fit. Back at home, Helen does some more snooping because she isn't buying Bob's bullcrap. She sees that his suit's been patched up and calls Edna, who is the only person who could have. And if you can see any resemblances, man, I cannot say this word for nothing. Yeah, this buddy, Incredidweeb from back in the day. Bro's been so salty because he couldn't become a sidekick, so he became a genius villain inventor, creating all kinds of gadgets and selling them to the government, like this freeze time beam thingamajig. After throwing Bob like 100 yards away, he snuck away off this cliff, but Syndrome is not to be played with and sends a bomb down there to get him. Now he's in the cave and sees a skeleton of a past superhero. He hides behind the skeleton from the tracker who sent to confirm his death. Back with Helen, Edna shows her the suit she's made for the family that she had no clue were even being made. Now she knows Bob is up to something, but we see an in-depth demonstration of the suit's new abilities. It's fireproof, it's bulletproof, and each suit is tailored to each family member's specific ability. The suits also have a tracker, and that's how she's gonna find Bob. Speaking of Bob, he snuck onto one of the rail cars infiltrating the lab facility, and look at this absolute dime of a throw. The crisp cracking of the skull as he hurls this beautiful rock at the guard's noggin got him looking like he wanted to be in an Ayo and Teo dance video. This was just enough distraction to where he could sneak into the main entrance undetected. This freaking unit of a human somehow made it all the way back to the lava wall room undetected and sneaks through before getting his butt seared off. And I'm still not over how they got a freaking lava corridor that actually is walkable. This should literally be like instant death walking through that. But anyways, Bob makes it to this secret room and enters the password he found in the caves. Kronos. He finds the files of all the past soups who fell victim to Syndrome and his bots. He snoops some more and finds that Syndrome plans to launch the bot to the city to wreak havoc. But as he was leaving, the hefty Goofy tripped the alarm and got blasted by these sticky, self-expanding black Orbeez. Helen leaves to get Bob and leaves the kids at home for the night. But Dash ends up spotting the new super suits, and they use Violet's Invis potions to sneak onto the plane with their mom. And don't worry about Jack, you know, they hired a babysitter with ADHD for him. And while all this is happening, Bob is at the lab getting tarnished by Syndrome and his contraptions. But Helen took control of the airplane and started evading this Call of Duty kill streak. But since Violet couldn't put the force field up in time, the missile struck. But Helen and the kids somehow lived this multi-missile strike with literally no damage. After Helen woke up from her CTE nap, turning into a parachute, saving the kids, she turns into a freaking boat as Dash runs them to the island. And Bob is really going through it now, because in his head, his whole family just got turned into smoothie ingredients, and this troll over here rubbing salt in the wounds. But Bob starts crashing out and snatched up Mirage. Syndrome was like, "Do it! I'll freaking dare you to do it, Tubby." But Syndrome called his bluff because Bob dropped her. Had Syndrome like, "I thought you were bad! You ain't bad! You ain't nothing!" Helen and the kids get to the island and camp out in this cave. As she explains to the kids
Was that
that
Billy?
their dad is in trouble and she needs them to mask up while she goes and looks for him. Now that Bob is trapped on a rocket, Helen infiltrates the base and ends up getting her legs caught between all these sliding doors. So when the guard spotted her, she made light work of these two goofies. And I know the guard back here by her leg was like, "Yacht! Is that a lady leg?" But after knocking him out, she freed herself and knocked the other two guards out with her amazing Disney hips. Syndrome loads up his advanced bowling ball and ships him off. And the cave that Dash and Violet are in happens to be the rocket's exhaust tunnel. So they escape crispification and Helen finds out where Bob is. So we get a one-piece time skip and it's the next day. This robot bird sounds the island alarm. Now all the guards are chasing the kids. Back in the lab, Mirage frees Bob and snatches her up. And he contemplates snapping her little neck like a pretzel. Mirage tells Bob that his family survived.
You're watching a toothbrush by Billie Eilish. But did you know that there's a YouTube Music app where you can also listen to the EDM version, the ska version, and of course, the original version? Duh. Get YouTube Music Premium.
Yada yada yada. They hug. Helen walks in, sees them hugging, and knocks the ever-living crap out of Miraz's jaw. What a love triangle. So Bob and Helen run off to save the kids, but low-key, it doesn't look like they really needed much. They holding their own. The grunts have a goose chase through the forest trying to catch Dash. He catches an accidental body, leading this goofy to absolute doom. Then Dash ends up running so fast he begins to run on freaking water, and Violet uses her invis pots to distract the guard long enough for Dash to pummel Bro, and she finally learns how to use her force field thingy. But now the whole family is reunited, and before any more damages could be had, Syndrome showed up with his freeze finger and started talking like he was from Duck Dynasty. Oh, this is just too good. Like, what's up with the accent? He traps them in the electric orb thingamajig, then explains to them his master plan, launching the bot to the city so he could defeat it himself with his inventions. Then he'll sell his inventions to everyone, making a ton more money and making superheroes totally obsolete in the process. After he walks out, Violet wastes no time freeing the fam because she wasn't trying to hear that whole "I'm sorry" apology cheese from Bob to Helen. So Bob caves some NPC heads in and they hijack a rocket, launching themselves to the mainland. And here's got to be my favorite Pixar animation scene. Honey, where's my super suit? I said, where is my super suit? Whoever wrote these characters, yeah, they were definitely black. They captured the back and forth between a black man and his queen perfectly. So Syndrome starts saving people, and bro is really hacking for real. Literally disassembling the robot with ease. And bro done already got figured out. The robot was like, and shot bro down. Bro literally grew up into what I'm thinking is a multi-billionaire and is still pathetic. The Incredibles pull up driving a carrot through the highways of the city. They make it there in a not so pretty fashion, and after some random parent smooching, the robot pulls up, dropping that thunk-da-dum, Violet and Dash. But Bob stops the teabagging and gets thrown into a building. Then Frozone pulls up and they hit a 3-man weave on the bot. So Bob finds Syndrome's remote, and then we get Disney's best reenactment of the Avengers Gauntlet scene as the bot and the Incredibles fight over Syndrome's remote. They do a bunch of other stuff while playing monkey in the middle with the metal testicle. Then we get into a situation where Violet is just over here spamming buttons on the remote. Got the bot over here moving like he on 200 ping. So Bob tells Helen to hit the rocket boost button, and he grabs monkey in the middle with the metal testicle. Then we get into a situation where Violet is just over here spamming buttons on the remote. Got the bot over here moving like he on 200 ping. So Bob tells Helen to hit the rocket boost button, and he grabs the bot's claw because the only thing that can hurt it is itself. So Helen times it up perfectly, giving Bob the opportunity for a buzzer beater, destroying the bot. Syndrome wakes up just in time to see the citizens glazing the Incredibles in Frozone. And you know this fool was hating. Now since they've defeated the bot, soups are getting a better reputation in the country now. But as Helen tried to get in contact with Jack's babysitter, they get some disturbing voicemails from the house phone. When they get home, Syndrome has nabbed the baby and has resorted to kidnapping of all things. He tries to leave with Jack, but bro is like a superpower generator, going through an array of powers and escaping Syndrome. Bob throws Helen up to catch him, and Syndrome catches a car to his noggin from Bob. Now the jet engine has turned bro into ground beef. Months later, Dash wins his first sports event with ease, and Violet gets a date with her dream guy. Another villain pops up out of nowhere, named the Underminer. And here we get the resurgence of the heroes in the city. The Incredibles is literally my childhood in a nutshell. Certified banger. Hey, JMF, thanks for the support lately. Oh yeah, and shout out to my boy, my intro editor, Dash. Y'all go sub up to him. Link in the description. Like, comment, subscribe, and go on by them heads. Dear Lord Jesus, your children are here yet again to glorify your name. We come to thank you and bless your name because you
Maryland's Child Victims Act has removed time limits for filing claims, and thousands of former detainees are now eligible to...
Now look, there was a few people telling me, yo, Kev, Scissor 7, watch Scissor 7, make a vid on Scissor 7, you need to peep Scissor 7. And I thought nothing of it. I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna watch it eventually. Until I stumbled across this TikTok. I don't even gotta say nothing, just look. He just sheathed that man's sword mid-scuffle, bro. What? But the problem is, though, I believe that is season 5. So with that being said, I have no plan for this video. I'ma just keep watching until either I get to that point or I get bored. Anyways, off rip, we start off crazy. We see Homeboy take out all these goons, goes back to his employer and just murks him, and doesn't take the money. I mean, if he was gonna kill him anyway, might as well take the bread. But that was all a dream. He's not like that. He's working a respectable job. But now we see them talking about actually getting into the hitman business. Hey, yeah. Nah, that wasn't no pulling out book motion. Freaky ass bird. Anyways, he's pretty much getting him ready to go out on the field. Taught him the transformation jutsu, got him on the whole dragon warrior regimen, even got him a getaway driver. We looking good. So good, in fact, we already got our first job. Birdman was like, alright, Seven, this is an in and out job. Just cut the bride's hair and dip. I don't know, this is a special day for them. They already paid us $500. I bet. This was almost a flawless mission until he saw their memories flash on and was like, damn, why don't I have any memories? Birdman heard that and skedaddled. So when Seven was running, he ran into this robot boy thing. But in this time, we not rocking the Apple or Android, we rocking the Stand. And this robot was made by him. So Seven was like, yo, I heard y'all can recover lost memories. Is that true? Beep. Fuck out the way.